What's going on, guys? Just finished filming another episode of the Almost Made It podcast. Something a little bit different this week. It was just us. So no guest to introduce, but you got to learn a little bit more about us and why we do what we do.
We went a bit more in depth, with our journey to here and why we started our brand and the podcast. So,
and let's be honest, we
do ramble a lot, but I think you're going to enjoy this one.
So trust me, you don't want to miss this one. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to another episode of the Almost Made It podcast, proudly brought to you by Cultural Club. Something a little bit different today. No guest. The guest is us. Guest. I'm the guest too.
Hey, true, I see. It's been a while, huh?
It has been a while. It has, but we're sort of back.
We are.
For the meantime, I thought, why not? We'll have a laugh. We'll have a chat.
That's it, bro.
Do you want to, really quickly there,
huh?
Do you want to tell everyone what happened to your arm?
Fuck, so... Well, a short story. I was on the motorbike yesterday. Some female doesn't know how to drive. Didn't know how to drive. And I had to slam the brakes on.
Pretty hard?
Pretty hard. Front end locked up, but I ended up coming off.
Very good.
So, yeah. And then I ended up coming to play futsal as well.
I was going to say, you can't say his leg, but his leg is disgusting.
And not only that, so I mounted back on the bike, drove home, got the car.
Look at him. What
came straight to futsal. To only lose, what was the score?
10-5 or something.
Absolute disgrace.
Pretty bad, but credit to you because
I appreciate it.
You messaged in the inbox about 10 minutes before kickoff. I came off my bike.
I told the boys, I'm like, I don't care. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about the scratches. We need the 3 points and we lose fucking 10-5, whatever it was.
That was bad, man.
But, yeah.
Anyway, but
we move forward.
We move forward. We're going. We'll go again next week.
That's right.
I guess we had a few different ideas on how to take this chat.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe really quickly, for people that don't know us that well, very, very brief story about us, football, and how I guess we started all this, maybe.
Well, we met through football. Bro.
Yeah, we did.
If I remember correctly.
You do remember correctly.
What under was that?
I think we were like 11, 12.
It's funny because it was Northwest, yeah?
Yes, Summer League days, for those of you who remember.
I remember because you were there originally, and then I came later. I don't know the ins and outs.
Yeah, I think you came like halfway through.
Yeah, and then I remember I was like a shy kid, yeah, and because I didn't the team was already established, then I'm like, fuck, I don't want to go there. I was like, I don't know anyone. Then I remember hearing your name, and I'm like, oh, this guy's Italian. I'm gonna try and make friends with him. He's the only bloke that I'll sort of know, And so then I remember we're having a kick, and yeah, now we're here.
It's just one of those things, like whenever you find someone's got something in common, you naturally sort of
gravitate.
I remember your first game, actually.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I think we've told this story before.
Was that the Bernards? St. Bernards College, man.
Yeah, against, I think it was Central.
In the pouring rain.
That's right, and you scored the header.
I did. I never, first header and the last header I ever scored in my life.
Doesn't matter, he made the impact.
But yeah.
But I think from there we just, I don't know, we just gravitated towards
and then we played
each other.
And then same clubs.
Yeah, all the way... Until when?
Then once we hit Davo's academy and stuff,
yeah,
and we went overseas together all the time.
Yeah, So I think, cut a very, very long story short, we played together for maybe, I don't know, we'll say the best of 10 years.
I'd say from under 13, 12. Moreland City, I think, was the first club.
Yeah. Then we moved to Northcote, and then we played with the great Alan Davidson, who we had on a
I think
few
the last club
ago.
We played together was Brunswick City.
Seniors,
just before our second stint.
Yeah. So then, we played here.
Yeah.
Then we had our overseas experience in Italy. And I think that's what sort of, I don't know, you want to say made Cultural Club in a roundabout way. We didn't know it was going to be that way.
Subconsciously, it was just there, and then it come to fruition later on when things were going to be
all our experiences and all the rest of it. And then obviously we came back after a few years and things didn't work out the way we wanted to work out. And I think we've said how we sort of it was born.
But I think because originally, I know you were the same. We weren't openly talking about this. You know what I mean? When we did start playing football, I didn't want to know it. I didn't want to know it, but it was just we're angry. So I don't think we thought straight away we would get to a point where we would talk about it like this.
Well, I remember we came back, and I think you had left Europe a bit earlier than me.
You went to Spain.
Yeah. And then eventually I came home for Christmas and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've actually the whole story is on
another video about it. Yeah,
on YouTube. But I remember sitting down. We caught up for coffee, and we're like, now what? Like our whole life, we've just known football.
It's true, man.
And it's sort of like, I mean, it is the name of the podcast at the end of the day. It almost made it. It's the story of people who don't make it, and the reality is, there's more of us than the people who do. So, yeah, we're sitting around. I remember. I'm like, what do we do? What do we do? We still want to be involved in some sort of way with football.
Yeah.
What can we do? And I guess that's when Cultural Club was born, over a coffee.
No, I think you're right, man. And then like from discussions, like also we had the support of our partners at the time and friends that we pitched the idea to, even our parents and whatever. And then we're like, yeah, it sounds all right. We'll just see what happens, you know?
Yeah. And at the start, it was just about building a community.
Yeah.
I remember we started posting like retro photos.
Yeah, that's what it was at the start.
And sort of building a little community of like
literally
people who loved football in the 90s and all this nostalgia and all this and all the rest of it.
We used to get the girlfriends to take bottle shots of us, you know?
Yeah.
Put some photos up.
Down a laneway in Coburg.
I don't want to see them again, those photos. But anyway, that's another story.
It was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, and then I think that's basically how we started. And I think it'll probably get onto our next topic later on, but you said we wanted to stay involved in football. And in a capacity that we sort of could do it our own way because we know sort of football, how it is here.
Well, like you said.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. When we got back, we didn't even want to play. We didn't even want to see a ball anymore.
It was, I think that's an important thing that you say because I don't know about yourself, but I know me, I not despise the game where I was like, but even to this day, like I wake up every morning, or like my team plays, whatever, I watch football. But I was like, I don't even want to watch football. I just didn't want to know it. But then a part of me started to realise football actually is what made me happy.
Yeah.
So like the actual game is what...
It's not the game.
It's exactly, it's all the bullshit around it that turns you off the game.
Yeah.
But when you think about it and you go back to being a kid and there's endless hours just having a kick, you know, even in the backyard, you in your head commentating or you're like, I'm not going inside until I put these top bins. Yeah. You know, those type of things. And they're like that's what football's about, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was the joy of it all.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's sad when you lose that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it also makes you think, like, at that time we were going through that. If we were to go outside and just have a kick on the wall, that joy would be back.
Exactly.
That enjoyment would still be the same.
And it did later on when we started to rediscover it. And then you obviously went on to play here.
Yeah.
So then you probably have another perspective on things as well. I didn't really play that much. I had a few stints and I was like...
It was that weird thing, like, obviously coming back and not being pro.
It hurts too.
Yeah, well, it's a hard thing to come to terms with, you know, and you never really, I think, up until recently, I'd probably say in maybe the last 3 years or so, or maybe longer now, you really sort of just accept it and you're like, all right, time to move on with life. But there was a long period of time where you're just like, nah, it's still going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still going to try. I'm still going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'll go back. Like, I'll go back. And you never do.
And I feel like nothing can replace, like, we sort of lived the professional lifestyle for a while. And once you've experienced that, it's like, honestly, like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, nothing ever is going to replace that in real life.
No.
Unless you're like, just, I don't know, just some millionaire that sits on a beach all day and just does what he wants. Nothing else is going to, you know what I mean? It doesn't. Also, the adrenaline. That's what I miss the most as well, is the competitiveness. Yeah. You know, you train hard, but then you go to like a war on the weekend.
You fight with your brothers,
and then like there's obviously that emotional roller coaster of you win, you're happy, you lose, you're upset, but it's sort of what you live for.
It's like, by the way, this is no means anywhere near, this is a stupid comparison, but it's the only thing I can think of, is like when, you know, guys come back from doing a campaign, like army guys, SAS and all the rest of it, they do a campaign in, you know, Afghanistan, they come back and they're like, they can't wait to go again.
Yeah, because they can't sit still. They thrive off that buzz and shit.
Yeah, I know. It's not even close to being the same.
Without the risks, and all that.
But it's like that thing. You get addicted to it.
It's true, bro.
And the lifestyle, like you said, putting your body on the line every week, it's hard to replicate here.
Even like just getting up like in the morning, thinking about it. Like you look back at our old like schedule and it was like wake up, eat breakfast, go to training. Like now we wake up, eat breakfast, go to work.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, man, like there's no comparison. Your job is literally just playing, like you're training and then, all right, there's a lot of bullshit outside of that, but when all is said and done, I think, and as well at this age when we're more mature and understand, like you just think about it and you're like, man, it doesn't get better than that.
No, it doesn't.
Do you know what I mean?
No, and like you said before, I tried to stick it out.
Yeah, you
For
played
as long as I could.
You're still going, man.
I'm still playing. I'm trying to play
Yeah.
after many knees and all the rest of it. But I think I look back on all the years that I've played after the amount of shit I've put myself through.
Yeah.
Where I look at you, and at times, man, I'm honestly envious. I think, like, how did you just stop?
I don't know, man. Oh, you know what? But it's funny you say that because there's times where I get the bug, man. Like, even when we went and watched the boys play at Meadow Park, like, shout out to the boys. There was a playoff final or something.
What a disgrace.
Anyway, we don't want to go into the football there, but just seeing, like, the buzz, the crowd, everyone, like, G up, like, man, I wanted to put the boots back on. But then take a step back and, like, I did put the boots back on a few years ago and went back. And then when you actually go through, you know, not just the match, you got to train, this, that, all the other bullshit around there, you're like, is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
And I found out very quickly it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
So
it can be worth it.
It can be. But like I said, I have the itch, but I will only go back, I've said it, is if we get a good bunch of lads like in the team and maybe, you know, the gaffer goes, you can train maybe once a week, maybe not train. But otherwise, I don't think my body can take it anymore, training and then playing. Because I give my everything in the game.
And you've had a long time off as well.
And my body's not, that's what the thing is. My body now, like, I can get fit. But like even now playing futsal 3-4 times a week, man, I can't back it up because my body's just not used to it anymore.
We're getting older too.
That too. But yeah, I definitely still love like the buzz. You see me, I'm a bit of a butzel on the field, so
So
we all love it, you know what I mean?
We want to win.
That's it.
But I think the hardest thing is like trying to find the right environment.
Yeah, it's big.
Even
it's
now,
huge.
like I'm still playing. You put yourself in a bad environment and you just find yourself hating it all over again.
Well, you had a similar. You had that experience this season, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I did. I don't know how much I can say.
I don't know how much detail you want to go into, but what you've told me. It was very interesting.
Look, the way I saw it was going to be my first season back from an ACL.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, I'm going to go back to somewhere without naming names that I was comfortable, like a long time ago. You know.
So you were wanted by this club, let's say.
Yeah,
and
the club actually meant something. Like, and for me, that's something here because it's hard to find somewhere you actually feel
you want to fight for
you want to fight for the
of course.
shirt. Do you know what I mean?
Course,
Which is rare.
Yeah.
Usually, growing up with aspirations, you fight for yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe
100%.
the guy next to you, and that's it.
Definitely.
So I thought, you know what, this is going to be a perfect way to get back into my football, and it was the biggest nightmare season of my life. Like, I finished this season seriously considering just walking away. I'm never going to kick a ball again. Like, fuck this, yeah. And this is at like state league level.
What do you think about, like, it's probably many things, but is there something that you can really say, like,
The
pinpoint?
mentality. People's mentality is so
explain
shit.
a little bit. What do you like to the? I understand, but if you had to explain it to someone random,
Okay.
what would you say is wrong?
I think we've been spoiled,
Yeah.
me and you, in terms of the experiences we've had, and we've seen what football at the top level is like. And it's not that I expect that at all, because I know where I'm playing. Yeah, I'm not an idiot. But some of the, I don't want to say decision making, but like just the mentality of people.
Yeah.
I understand, like, it's state league, whatever. We want to enjoy ourselves and all the rest of it. But it's little things like, you know, rocking up on time. Not complaining about training twice a week for an hour. Like,
should be fun. You should look forward to going
to 2 hours of your week. Like, if you don't want to, like, if you don't want to
play.
train, don't play. Like,
no one's forcing you to play.
I'm not going to knock you either. Like,
100%.
That's what it is, and that's what it is. It's fine. Just negative all the time. Like, it's almost, it becomes ingrained. Like,
it does. It's like a cancer. It spreads.
And then people start talking shit about, you know, that guy, him, the coach, the assistant did
Becomes
this.
like a reality TV show.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where am I playing? Like, what is this?
100%.
This is like, literally like, it's like a drama.
Literally. They go there just for that, not for football.
Yeah. And I think just the tiniest bit of professionalism in a state league club can do wonders.
Definitely.
Like, it can literally bring you from an average shit club to somewhere decent. Like, you actually feel a part of the club. You actually want to play every week. And it's not like, just fill the water bottles up at halftime or something like that. You know, how hard is it? Something
Even just
so
like
stupid.
a bit of, go to training with that will to actually want to compete and win.
Rock up half an hour,
You
like
know?
have a kick before, get a few rondos going, like something like that, like.
And I think that's a big thing, man.
Yeah, so from it being like a fairy tale in my head to being the worst nightmare ever, I don't know, it taught me a few lessons, definitely.
That's what I was going to say. You would have learnt a lot.
I did. Like, I think I can honestly say that there's probably only one coach left out there. I hope you're watching.
Is the scoop coming?
Yeah.
I think I know about it.
Nah, that I could honestly say I'd still put my body on the line for. Otherwise, if it's not him, I think I'm done. Like, it's like you said, it's so hard to replicate. It's so hard to. Yes, we've been at another level and all the rest of it, but it's not hard to. It's not hard to rock up on a Saturday on time and want to win the game.
Exactly right. For me, when they say like the requirements, like work hard, it shouldn't even come into your vocab because you're expected to do that. Like that should just be a given.
Yeah.
That they rock up wanting to win this game and give everything.
Yeah.
Simple. But when you have to tell people to like even just get there on time at 30 years old, you're already where you started, like where you're going,
And like, I don't want to have to listen to, this is the game plan when we're losing at halftime, when we're 2-0, if we go 2-0 down or, we haven't even kicked off yet and you're talking about losing. Like who, I don't know.
It's like another thing. I don't know if you've experienced that in those type of leagues, but when people say, just play for fun, play for this. But
that's fine.
Fun is winning.
Yeah, but
then if you do want to do that, then go play like, I don't know, go play Lego or some shit. Straight out. I'm sorry, but like sport, it doesn't matter what level you're playing to win. If you're playing just to have a fun,
otherwise it'd be no scores.
Come on, man. Honestly, like, who are we kidding?
Yeah.
I know this modern day world, there's a lot of soft, I won't say, out there. But like, you got to win, man. You got to want to win.
What do you think about, because I actually didn't know this, because obviously we've been out of youth football for a long time and, we never really got into coaching and that's another story. But what do you think about like younger levels, younger age groups, not counting scores in games, not having a scoreboard, no ladder? No.
I think it's one of those like catch-22 type questions because I understand at a young age you want them to fall in love with the game. Yes. But you also got to be real.
Yeah, I know. Because
for me, like also losing teaches you things. Like for example, if this team's getting battered every week and you like, they actually might want, like a lot of the times you probably want to then, they want to improve. They're like, I'm sick of losing. So then they want to win.
Yeah.
But then when you're just playing for the sake of playing, I don't know. I think you should always count the score and everything, but not put as much emphasis on it.
Yeah.
So, like, you're not going to hammer the kids if they lose, but you're going to teach them, like, we got to try and get better here. Yeah. We lose maybe 8-0 this week.
Yeah.
Let's try and not cop 8 goals next week. I don't know. Just
to be honest, I honestly think it comes down to the coach.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're teaching these kids. There has to be a scoreboard.
I think there always has to be something. Yeah.
Like you said, you're preparing them for the real world of football.
You're preparing them for failure, really, in life.
And I understand the other side as well because there's coaches out there that, like, you're coaching under sevens and you want to play,
Because you know what? That's their own ego.
But that's what I mean. Like, it's down to the coach.
Definitely.
Like, if you can find the balance where, the kids are developing.
Of course.
But also learning to win, to lose, and everything, then you're on the money.
And you're developing the player. Because I think at that age, like, we're talking under 7s, under 8s. We see these under 7s, under 8s doing professional, personal training, opening the gates, this, that. Man, what are you doing? Like, go and get a ball, just play. Have fun, man.
Yeah.
That ball, just try things. Like, try and replicate a trick you saw on YouTube, something, instead of worrying about doing deadlifts at 8.
That's why I think also it's part of the wider, I don't know if you want to call it a bit of, because you see on social media
bullshit
and a lot of that, but also I feel like creativity in footballers now is on the decline.
You're spot on.
No one can go one-on-one anymore. No one can literally take the game by the balls and just
There's no number 10s anymore. Like
number 10s are dead. That position is dead.
Do you know what it's becoming like? It's becoming like AFL.
Yeah.
Whereas AFL now, you see like they're just athletes and half of them can't even kick a ball.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'm not saying it's getting to that extreme.
No.
But that fantasy, when you look.
I joked with one of our ex-guests on here and Paddy, his Norbo.
Shout out, Paddy.
Shout out, Paddy. I joked with him the other day. I said, "Oh, if you need a new signing, just hit me up." Because obviously he's coaching Victory now. He's like, as a joke, he's like, "What position do you play again?" I said, "Number 10." And he said, "That position doesn't exist anymore."
I tell him it's still 2 years.
No, I know, but it's true. It actually it doesn't.
You're right.
It doesn't exist anymore. And I think it's part of what you're saying. Kids are more worried about being like
athletic,
strong, injury prevention at 7. Like, who gets injured at 7 anyway?
If you get injured at 7, like, mate, you just don't be a footballer.
And, all about the, like, technique's important and whatever, but also it takes away that creativity because you just think, my touch has to be on my back foot all the time and this and that. And I get it, all right, but to be honest, we were never taught that. I remember getting told off here in Melbourne for using the outside of my foot to have my touch where I should have had it on the
what
on
about
my
when
left.
the sole, when you roll?
Yeah.
How many times you get told off? It's not futsal.
Exactly. Then we go to Europe and everyone's doing the opposite, like what we're doing, and they're not getting told off because it's just in that moment, that was the right thing to do.
Exactly. That's the fantasy of football. For me, that's why I fell in love with football. Well, not fell in love, but that's why I loved about football is that it's like you have a blank canvas.
Yeah.
And it's like
that's the beauty of it.
you got to work. I loved, like you were the same. Give me the ball in the tightest space possible because I want to try and get out or like play my way out. Whereas like I feel like now people don't want the ball in those areas because they just want to run. Yeah. They just want paddocks, man, to run.
Yeah.
But that's also, like you said, it starts from young, I believe.
100%.
Street football. What did we do when we were young? Always playing.
Always outside.
And then in Europe, it's on another level with the street football. But you look at kids now and it's like they'll go do their 1 hour session. And I'm not knocking, not all kids are like this, but I'm just saying in general, they'll go do their 1 hour session with their coach and then they'll go on Fortnite for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, don't worry. Instead of going even with that coach, go outside and just do that.
You know why? Because then it ends up being a chore. And by the time they're 12, they're done.
They do it for the wrong reasons.
They don't want to see a ball anymore. It's like I've done this every day for already, 5 years. I've had enough.
They've lost the fun. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's I blame this. Yeah. And also it's parents' pressure, man, because parents are wanting to get their kids on Instagram, football, man. Let the kid grow. He's 10 years old. Then as time goes, you'll develop. You're not going to know if he's going to be a professional footballer at 10. He might hate the game in 10 years.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, that's one of the reasons I stepped away from when we first got back from Europe.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of youth coaching. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, was that with Frankie and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons I just couldn't do it anymore. There were parents coming up. As soon as they found out I had just come back from Europe, it was like, is my son, what do you think of my son? Is he going to make it? He's 8 years old.
Exactly right.
I don't know. How are you supposed to answer that?
It's such a stupid question, but...
I know. And they sort of, to be honest, the reality is probably not.
No.
But am I going to say that to you? Like, then you're going to get upset.
And realistically, you don't know because so much can change. Like, how many players do you see kill it at a certain age and then just fade away? Or the other way around. Or there's players that, you might see them in the academies or something. And even like professionals to this day, I've heard, like even, Bukayo Saka from Arsenal, Henry used to be around the academy there. And he said, he used to see Saka and he's like, he thought he'd be an okay player, but I didn't think he'd get to the level he's now because he worked, man. And there's so many, a bit of luck you need, a bit of this. How are you going to tell an 8-year-old that what's going to happen in 20 years' time, 10 years' time?
And you ruled him as well. Just, no, it's the pressure.
Yeah. But then I think, like it comes back to, man, what we always say. I think football here, when you hear these type of things, if they're happening at grassroots, you're basically planting the seeds at the first level. So it's just going to keep growing. Like it's like a cancer, man. It just spreads, the mentality.
Yeah. There's a lot I think that can be improved on. And I don't know how long the cameras go for here before.
To be honest, I wouldn't even bother, man.
No, but like I think the things we've touched on in a roundabout way just sums it up. And also, I mean, there's the whole thing with like academies and paying for NPL, the fees.
Yeah, that's another story.
Everything. Man, how many times have we gone for a kick and been kicked off a pitch? Like things like this, you're limiting opportunities for people to play the game. That's how I see it. And that's what it comes down to. And to enjoy the game, even on TV. You need to pay to watch.
Like, you got to pay for the A-League. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know what's another thing? Actually, you say that. I actually said this to my mum the other day. Like, near my house where I live, like on Kill Road, I don't know if you've noticed, they're doing all this work on the footpath. It's a random story, but it's just, obviously we know it's just because they've got money to spend, they spend for no reason. But I said to my mum, I'll go, why don't they invest this money? There's plenty of like space there. Why don't they go and build like a 5-a-side pitch or basketball ring, get kids off their asses?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's also a modern day thing that they promote money into the wrong things.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying because as a football, like I want people to play football, but just get kids out there, man.
Yeah.
Kids these days, they don't go outside.
Yeah.
I love when I see kids riding the bike, motorbike down the street, whatever. I'm like, oh, that was like us. Because you don't see, maybe we all see, we got a lot of cousins, this, that, similar age, and they don't even know how to talk because they're just glued to an iPad.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, as a community too, spend the money where it should be. Help, like, the younger generation instead of spending money on bullshit asphalt that doesn't need changing.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. That's for me. That's another thing.
That's a whole other issue too.
You know what I mean? Funding is going to the wrong places.
But I remember, I think, when was it that we got kicked off that?
Oh, in Brunswick?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, on Victoria
Would have been
Street.
a while ago.
Yeah. But I remember, like, how many of us were there?
I think it was 4.
No, I think 6.
Six,
I think it was, we
3v3.
were playing a
It was
3v3
3v3.
literally in a 10-metre grid.
Yeah.
Just having a good time, enjoying a bit of football on a Sunday. Was it Sunday?
I think it might have been a win. Like
Anyway.
a night. It was a training night.
An NPL team that should not be named. They should not be named.
NPL,
Yeah. I think it was under 12s or something. Rock up. And literally, I think it would have been a team of 16. It was just one team. They needed the whole pitch.
Yeah.
So we had to get off. And it was full on. Like, the guys like, we're going to call the police. You didn't hire this pitch. You didn't do this, do that. And we sort of walked off and waited. And they ended up using the 18-yard box. And that was it.
Yeah. It's just power, man.
And I'm like, I know this is a stupid story in the grand scheme of things, but it's things like that just put you off.
Yeah.
And again, limits the opportunity to play. Like, if we were kids, for example, what, you're going to kick the kids off?
Yeah, exactly.
They're playing a harmless game on a pitch that you're literally using a fraction of. Like,
exactly.
just
If you need
leave
the
them,
whole
man.
pitch,
Like,
right, fair enough.
deal?
But
And things like, we brought this up as well in the past, but, like clubs bolting their goals down to the fences, like someone's going to come with a trailer and take the goals away, and it stops people using them.
Yeah.
Like, they're goals, for fuck's sake. Like,
no, you're right.
what the hell is that? Like, what is going to happen? What is the worst thing that can happen? People can still cut the nets down if they're put the wrong way.
Exactly.
So what's going to happen? Anyway.
I wanted to ask you, but now that you've experienced, I actually had this question. I don't think I've asked you. Obviously, now you've gone through this experience overseas and you've played a fair bit now coming back. What would be your advice, like to your younger self, let's say? What would you do anything different?
Yeah, I would have. I think I would have stayed there for as long as possible.
Yeah.
As in,
kept chipping away.
I think I killed the opportunity when I came home for Christmas. Yeah. Even though there was a contract in the works and all the rest of it, I think being away.
Yeah, you're out of sight, sort of. Don't worry about him.
Yeah. And not only that, like, then you get comfortable. I haven't seen my family in how long? I'm home for Christmas.
But also, it's the indecisiveness of you not knowing as well. It's like it could be there.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I go back? Yeah. Is it going to be there, I
always used to think, like, if I just stayed and then come home for that Christmas, if I just stayed, what would have happened?
Yeah.
Would I have signed that contract? Would I have got another opportunity after?
I think that's always going to be there.
They're all hypotheticals, man. Like.
And that's the thing. You'll never know.
Nah.
And also, like, another thing I always go back, like, I replay my mind, then I'm like, I'll go, if only I had the mentality I have now. But I'm like, man, you got to think, I was like 10 years ago, more, 12 years. And I'm like, man,
you do a lot of
it's just too much hypothetical. Like, if I was this, if I was this, like what's his name said, if my mother had wheels, should be a bike. You know what I mean? That type of shit. Like, it's just like.
No, it's true.
You're just thinking about things that you might as well not put your energy into that because you're not going to change it. You might as well.
Do you regret leaving?
Yeah, I do. Always, like, I regret. I was very stubborn as well. See, like, now going back to what I was saying about the mentality. Whereas I feel like if I was now, and I wish I didn't have that mentality then, I would have maybe listened more instead of I had like my tunnel vision enough. This, they're talking shit, blah, 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 and that's it.
For context as well, if you don't know, me and Matt were in Italy together, trialling at a few different clubs, and it was basically the period a trial period
but then
of a
just,
few months. And basically we were unsure of what was going to happen next. And that's when you decided
And
that
then,
you had enough.
so actually I had a cousin, one of my dad's cousins, that he actually played for Torino back in the day. And it was gotten to the point where my parents, because they knew they were speaking to me on the phone and I was getting like, not aggro, but I was just getting over the bullshit. And I'm like, you know, he even called me and he's like, nah, just stay. Like he even tried to convince me. And I still remember this call. And I always like go play it back in my head. And he's like, nah, just, you know, I had this check. Because he'd done the same thing. And then he made a mistake. He found the girl and then his career went off the rails. But I look back at it now and it's like, man, at that time, unfortunately, the mentality I had, I just didn't want to listen to anyone.
Yeah.
But like we say, what good is it now?
No.
Like going over it and over it. Like it's in, if I can do anything, I can just, if I had the chance to help another kid in the same situation, I'd just tell them, man, just, if you can get through that, you never know what's on the other side. Sometimes you're almost there, you know, and just over the other side is success. But you give up.
Yeah.
When I say you give up, things that, you know, not so much give up, but you stop.
Yeah.
And just if you had to keep going that little bit more, that could have been a contract or whatever success.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what I've learned as I've gotten older is like persistence, man. You just got to keep chipping away because that time you give up, that next move, if you had to just keep going one more week, it could have happened in anything in life.
Exactly.
You know?
But see, this is the side of football that what we believe isn't spoken about enough.
Yeah.
You know, we were there trialing away. How long we were away from our family?
A long time, man. It was a lot of
Super
up and
lonely,
downs
up
too.
and down, travel. You don't know what's coming tomorrow. Every trial was like a battle.
Yeah.
And you're constantly in your head.
You are. Because you don't know there's no certainty.
Nah. And I think it's things like that people don't see. And, you know, you see when it happens and you're successful, it's all good. Yeah, sweet. But even then, that's another mountain
to then even stay there.
Yeah. But it's like these sort of situations that seriously affect you mentally and all that. Like we've said it before, and I'm happy to say it. We've been through the shit, man. Like depression. When
at the start, man, I thought we were something wrong for us, man. Like because we didn't. It wasn't spoken about back then. We're not that old, but it wasn't you know, now mental health day, this, that.
Now it's different.
Well, back then it wasn't that like you were ashamed to talk.
So, yeah, like to go through all that, I understand that you regret it, but like in the same way I understand. It was incredibly mentally exhausting and tough, and I respect people and people that we've had on and people we've spoken to who take that next step.
100%.
Because it requires so much mental strength. And also I think we've got to give ourselves credit. Like we did it for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, we played at the highest level in Europe and all the rest of it. Had unbelievable experiences, played with unbelievable players against unbelievable teams.
Still mates with some to this day.
Yeah. And I think we're probably, you know, in the top 20% of people. You know, how many people can say they had the same experiences?
Yeah, exactly right. And that's another thing, like we took a risk because while everyone was like at that age, like doing a career, pursuing a career, whatever, we were pursuing a career, but we weren't like, there was no certainty at all. It was just like take a leap of faith and see what happens.
Yeah. And
then you come back, like you said, and then when it didn't work out, it's like, fuck, we're starting from ground zero now.
I think the biggest thing...
And then what do we do now?
Yeah, the biggest thing I struggled with personally was like that identity.
Yeah, like what do you do, man?
Like we've always been like the football kid growing up. Oh, he's always got a ball or whatever. Even at school, one of our best mates, like Marcus and stuff, before they met me, they were just like, oh, that's the soccer kid.
Yeah. They just know.
He's a weirdo. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You got that label. Like, he's the athlete, he's the footy player, he's the soccer player, whatever.
But then, like, when it doesn't happen and it's like, mate.
You feel ashamed.
Like, who am I?
Yeah,
like,
you do.
You do feel ashamed. You do. But you get over it, obviously.
And also, but I think what's another thing that the journey of that helped in my life, and I'm sure you're the same, is also the way of the mentality to live now is a lot different for me. Because when you've gone through so much uncertainty, you appreciate the moment more.
Yeah.
And you're not like always worrying about tomorrow because like we said, tomorrow when you're playing football, you might have a contract today, tomorrow you might not. Yeah. Or you're playing, tomorrow you do your knee and then you're fucked. So like you got to adapt.
Yeah.
So I think that taught me a lot too, whereas a lot of people are so structured in the way they think and live. But it's like, it's sort of, as I've gotten older, I've realised to live more take each day as it comes.
Yeah.
And then you can adapt, because when you don't have that mentality of like, oh, what's going to happen tomorrow, you just wait for it to come and then adapt to it.
Yeah.
I think that's helped.
Yeah, and that's through football.
That's what I mean. Football's teaches heaps.
Yeah, so much.
Mental strength, like even just talking, and for me, even just winning. Like,
yeah, you take that mentality into anything you
like
do.
I literally am addicted to it. Like that feeling, like of just playing. Like, I don't care if it's even like just some bullshit game in the backyard, like 2v2, but just winning. Just like, oh, I'm happy.
Our mates hate us. Last night we weren't happy. There was
boys, we can't lose again, otherwise
we're sitting second bottom, boys.
The president's not happy.
Get it together. And then like it honestly did set up, I guess, my next phase of my life. Just all those years playing, all those experiences, winning mentality, all the rest of it. And I think that's whatever happens. Yeah. If you never make it, you never get even close. I think they're all unbelievable things to take away from and put towards something else.
No, definitely.
The other side of things is as well.
Yeah.
If we didn't go through all that shit, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it.
This is very true.
We started the podcast, the brand, and I think away from everything we've done, which we'll maybe touch on in terms of the brand, the highlights and stuff we've put together, but just to be able to talk to someone who's been through a similar experience and just connect with them automatically and create, I guess, a space for everyone to...
It's like community.
Yeah, community. I think that's the best thing we've ever done, ever.
Yeah, no, it's good.
What would you say the highlight's been so far of this whole, I guess, our new journey?
Like of the post, let's say, football?
Yeah, PTSD.
I'd say that, like, honestly, it'd be obviously the networking, but also you don't realise how many like-minded people, like how many people are like you. Because you get caught in a bubble.
Yeah.
You think like, man, I'm the only person. But then you start talking, it's like him, she went through that, he went through that. And it's like, fuck, you sort of automatically, like you said, you have this bond.
Yeah.
That you automatically like, you're on each other's level and you can open up about each other's experiences. So I think that's been crazy. And also like just people we've met, opportunities that we've been able to have. And like I can only see it getting better,
Yeah.
So I'm like excited for the future.
Yeah.
And also it's given us a platform.
Yeah.
To be able to then tell
our story.
Tell our story, but also other people to tell their story. Exactly. And I think that's important too, because if you can share, even if you can help one person, like I'm not saying it's got to be about that, but whatever it is, motivate, help, whatever the word is, one person, two people, we've done all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly right. There's been a few moments where I've thought to myself, we're actually doing something good here.
Yeah, like, for sure, man. Like, remember, like, I don't want to be like, I'm not a fucking influencer or anything, but a few kids sometimes in the DMs will be like, I love you. Like, for me, that's I love that shit. Like, because I really want to make an impact on like younger kids, man. Because, like, let's be honest, the world's fucked. So, like, if you can make a positive impact on these young kids, because it's a crazy world, man. Yeah. So, like, that for me is like, I love that. When we get a message from a young kid, man, I want to be a footballer. I'm and they work hard, they do what they got to do, and they're not like off the rails. Like, I love that. For me, it's like we've saved one, and we keep going.
Exactly.
So,
and if you are watching, and you want to reach out, you need someone to talk to or advice.
I don't know how much advice I can give you,
but honestly, like our DM's always open.
That for me, it's little things like that doesn't hit you, but you're like, it keeps you going. Yeah. It gives you that extra motivation to keep going.
I think one of the highlights for me personally that I think made me realise the reach that we have was the Euros.
Not the first 21.
Yeah.
The amount of people that
the
brought
events
together.
that we organised, and to be honest, it was in the middle of COVID as well. Do you remember the shit we had to go through? Yeah. So, if you don't know what happened, we wanted to show all the Italy games as part of our brand, sort of thing, at the Piazza on Lygon Street.
We had help with the arena boys and all that.
And I remember the lead up. I'm talking like maybe 2 months before.
Yeah, because we planned.
The crap we had to go through, and it was in and out of COVID. It was that weird stage where we were like in and out of
But it wouldn't have mattered, let's be honest.
Nah.
COVID, no COVID.
Yeah,
they're just
shit.
absolute wankers.
And I remember like emails back and forth with the council, the city of Melbourne, restaurant owners, this and the other. And I'm like, how hard is it?
Yeah.
Like, how hard is it?
Why do you have a screen there
Just
first?
to press on a projector and just put it on the screen. Like, how hard is it?
What about the military that came down on the north?
Well, that's what I'm about to
Are you
get
going to
into.
get to that? Yeah.
So I remember it started. We were never going to do this because it became too hard, and we watched the group stage games in our office, just with a small group of our mates.
Yeah. And then I think we went to Brunetti's or Noddy's one game.
And then the next game it started to grow a little bit more. We went to Noddy's, and then we made a mess on Logan Street in the R-Bath. And slowly we started to like spread little rumours and stuff that will start showing games in the Piazza because, of course, the council wasn't going to do it. So we thought, you know what, let's just do it ourselves. And then we got to know the Arena boys who also had a very similar idea.
They had the generator and everything.
Yeah, so we put it together pretty much. I remember we basically did all the promoting. This was for the final. Well, it happened in the semi-final as well. Yeah, semis it was. Spain.
I don't think we were at Brunetti for the Spain game.
No, then we headed
after we headed down there.
Anyway, the final. Big event, obviously. We couldn't publicly advertise anything, I remember, because of COVID.
Didn't we publicly advertise? No, we did it like I remember we did the shifty. Didn't we do like a day before?
No, I remember, I think it was like the week leading up, obviously, because the semi-final was the week before, or a few days. We just sent everyone we knew a DM.
That's right. Yeah, we did it like individual, like to all the followers instead of.
We said, you tell everyone you know. And
we started a petition too.
We started a petition. We got a lot of thousands of signatures. But that was a waste of time because the Council of Melbourne didn't give a shit.
Is that who is the Council of Melbourne? Do they run that area?
Yeah.
Carlton?
Yeah, and that was full on, man. We got full on backing for that. That was cool. Anyway, so we started this rumor that we might be showing the final at the Piazza.
Let me see if I can get the photo up. Or you talk.
Maybe we'll send it to Braden.
Yeah, we'll put it up later. Because that photo is crazy. Yeah,
unbelievable. Anyway, and I remember we rocked up to the Piazza we had generators, an esky to put a cheap ass projector on to like angle it towards that.
This was at 12 a.m. The game was at 5. We're watching Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Berrettini versus Djokovic at 12.
So we rock up to Logan Street at the Piazza there at 12. It would have maybe been earlier.
Even earlier,
whatever. And we start setting up in the middle of, it was COVID. There was restrictions. Anyway, we set up the speakers, playing around with the sound, I remember. And there was only like 10 of us.
Yeah, there was no one there at that stage.
There was no one there.
We all knew each other. It was just like mates.
Yeah, and slowly, like a few people rocking up. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe we'll get 20 or so people. Then I remember one of the Arena boys got one of their dads in a high-vis jacket and a megaphone. And he was our designated COVID marshal.
Because then you didn't tell him about the busload that came first.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I remember it would have been around 1:30 a.m., 2 a.m., this massive bus, like a huge bus.
Like a full travel bus.
Yeah.
That goes interstate and shit. Yeah.
Rocks up behind, at the back, the back street. We could see it.
Yeah.
And literally, I don't even know how many police officers got out of it.
It was probably full. And then the horses came.
All the rest of it. I remember they surrounded 20 of us.
You got junkies on the street there in the city stabbing people, and they're worried about us watching a football match.
And all we said was, we're all family. We just want to watch the game together. I think the restrictions at the time was like you'd have a group of 50.
That's what they started using as an excuse. Yeah,
and we were well under at the time, well under 50 people. And we said, we just wanted to put it on the Piazza. You know, COVID, social distancing, whatever. This is why we're watching it outside, blah, blah, blah. And like, why do you have the speakers? And we're like, so we can listen to it. Get rid of the speakers. Why? I don't know. All right, we got rid of the speakers. The game was still showing. And then
the residents, they couldn't sleep or something as well. They used that excuse.
Yeah, that's right. And then an hour later, more people came. And then it started to get, all right, guys, the police were like, all right, guys, there's more than 50 now. What are you going to do? So our COVID marshal went up on the stage there and said on his megaphone, guys, can we just split up in groups of 50, please? So everyone sort of just listened and split up.
Yeah.
And then more people came. It was big. And then I remember we were at the front and I saw I think it was Gianluca.
This was the stage. We jumped on the stage.
Yeah. So I saw Gianluca to the side. So I'm just looking at the screen. I don't know what's behind me.
Yeah, we didn't know,
So I got up to walk around the projector and I look back
There was people everywhere.
and there were thousands of people, like thousands.
And there was like people that weren't even like Italian or Spanish or English, sorry. They were just there.
I could not believe, like, there was a sea of people. And in my head, I'm like, oh, we're fucked. But really,
To be honest, I was loving it. I'm like,
and then they had undercovers in the middle of the crowds.
but you could pick them out. They're the worst undercovers, man. Look, remember how we knew which one was
One
undercover?
of them was wearing a Man United
Like,
top.
seriously,
What are you
bro.
doing? At least just pick it anyway.
Is that the one you threw the flare at?
Yeah,
No.
that's the one you belted. Anyway,
Yeah. Didn't come back, did he?
no. but it also hit home. I'm like, look what we've done. Like, how amazing.
There were so many people too. Like, I was getting messages and I'm like, bro, you're here?
Yeah.
And all these like people you haven't seen in ages and they all like there. It was good. And we
And
ended up
obviously,
winning.
in the end, Italy won, and it was just party for
About
the
to pass
whole
away,
day.
man.
Yeah, it was.
40,
it was a
I reckon
long
we're
day.
up about 30, 40 hours straight, man.
Yeah, we
like,
did
that
so.
was bad.
Yeah,
It was good. It was worth it, but well.
yeah, but something like that was
Yeah.
probably one of the
You
highlights.
realise the power of like of a community, of everyone with the same sort of
Yeah,
passion
Yeah.
and whatever.
yeah.
But
Do you remember all the news crews that rocked up?
oh man,
And I
they
remember
were stuffing up the connection.
because we had some shitty, like, it was like a dongle or something. No, I can't remember. Our
Because
internet
there was too many. There was too
terrible.
many phones around.
Yeah. And it kept dropping in and out. And every time they turned on their cameras, I think it'd create some sort of
I
interference.
reckon one of them was about to get bashed.
And the game would cut out. And everyone, the whole, I don't know how many thousands, you'll see the photo, you'll freak out, started screaming at the news crews, and then they put their cameras down again and the game would start again. But I remember by the end, the connection full cut out.
Yeah, it was. You were sort of watching it and like it was delayed reactions throughout.
We watched the
Because
penalties
one
on our
guy's phone
phones,
was
man.
ahead.
It was
This guy's was delayed. This guy's was there, and everyone's screaming. You don't know what's
so
going
bad,
on.
But it was really, like, I don't think anyone cared.
Yeah,
like, we're all
as
together.
long as we won. If we had a lost bar, I reckon it would have turned south.
Yeah, it would have been
Those cameras would have been in half.
that would have been bad. But it was good then to see it all on the news and everything, and it was good.
We made the news a few times. So.
Did we? Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that month, yeah, we did. I got on.
For the right reasons too, which was good.
We complained about the cops a few times.
Did you get? Oh, is that when you chat like if we had the political? You like very political.
Yeah, but anyway,
But no, it's good.
the power of people, and
Sure.
I guess the one thing that social media is good for business and doing stuff like that.
True.
We tried again this year, but unfortunately,
What do you mean? We were in a restaurant watching it. There was about 60 cops up and down.
was
They
true.
wasted about $100 of petrol driving up and down while everyone's inside watching the game.
yeah, I know.
And then there's people out there getting stabbed. And they're worried about us. Like, that tells you everything, mate.
If you're watching and you came to the events that we held at Coffee Machine Technologies, thank you. Hopefully we can do something for the World Cup if we're not there.
No, honestly, like, I don't want to J it down, but I want to go there, man. We're due like a trip.
Yeah.
I reckon Cultural Club on the road, man. We'll vlog it
That'd
and
be
shit.
good. Brady, do you want to come? We'll take Brady.
Yeah. Mexico will be mad, I reckon.
Yeah, Mexico would be cool.
Braden will like Mexico, I reckon. We've got a few special guests coming up now, so we've had our limelight.
Yeah. Well, hopefully,
Looking forward to. We've got a few coming up now. We've just got to lock in the dates.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird period. We've been
It's been
working,
busy,
and we've been working hard on a new range as
Yeah.
well.
So that's been our number one priority at the moment.
Hopefully get that out before the year. Keep
Yeah.
your eyes
A
peeled.
lot of stuff coming out, so it's taking extra time because we want it to be tip top, exactly what we want. So
Yeah, a few guests hopefully lined up.
it's a little bit different too with our guests.
Time of the year, to be
Also,
honest.
some of the guests we got on, it's going to be very interesting. It's a bit different to what we've had.
So we spoke about the dark side of football.
Yeah.
What would you say is the good side of football, which is, let's be honest, the majority?
Of course. Look, I think, there's a lot of, not only football, but in life. Like, for me, that's why I think it's so important that kids play sport. Not because if they're going to be a professional or whatever, but it's what you learn. Like, you learn discipline, you learn, like, an objective to try and reach an objective. Teamwork, you got to listen, there's respect. And obviously, man, when you're part of a group, like,
There's nothing better.
that you're all on the same page, you're brothers, yeah? Like, we had it with Davo's boys for a while. Like, not only did we play football together and travel the world, we were mates. Like, we'd go out with each other on the weekend, For me, like, that shit there, it's like
Nothing
You
else.
can't replace that.
Nothing else gives you that.
Because also, when you're playing, like, I don't want to compare it to war because I've never been to war and I respect those people a lot. But it's like that you're going to battle with these people and they have your back, you have their back. I don't know. There's just some feeling about it that
It's the best feeling in the world.
You can't replace.
No.
And I think that is one of the most special things about a team sport.
Yeah.
I'm assuming other team sports are similar, but
I think as well, even though we spoke about, we don't want to play anymore and all the rest of it, that's for our reasons. Look, because we've had different experiences and all the rest of it.
That doesn't mean we don't want to play now. Like football, we J up for, man.
No, but I'm a big believer in if you're in the game, just keep playing as long as you can. Like literally as long as you can, because like you said earlier, you might do your knee tomorrow. You might, I don't know, you might get in an accident. You don't know. Like these are precious moments that you're allowed to play the most beautiful sport in the world.
Find the fuck, I'm going dyslexic now. Find the right environment. And then, you enjoy it. Like, especially now, you don't have the pressure.
No.
So just enjoy the game.
No. I would hate to one day think, like, when we're old and we're about to cark it, like in a wheelchair or whatever, I wish I played more. Yeah. Like, to think that would kill me because it is the most beautiful sport in the world, most beautiful game in the world. You got to enjoy every moment.
I think another thing that, going on to football, what the joys are, honestly, I found, is also like it's a universal language.
Definitely.
Because like...
That is the best thing.
I've been to countries where I don't even know the language. Like, one word, another continent, and it's just like, you mention like Messi or boom, it's like your best mates. Their eyes light up. You play football with them, you play something like... I don't know. For me, I've never experienced something so powerful. It was a simple, just a player's name, a ball, and your best friends.
You can join in a game anywhere in the world, not knowing any other people, not knowing one word of their language.
And it's just peace.
And exactly. Like you have the best time ever.
We did it last year in Barcelona together. Remember we bought the ball? And then I was in Rome as well, just playing with randoms. Just some random, I don't know what he was, man. I don't even know his name, but we're just having a laugh. Like
having a kick.
If you do that normally, like you'd be like, bro, who's this guy? What's he want? But it's just like the ball, just
the power of
it brings peace. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it teaches you a lot as well. Like you said, discipline, being on time, stuff like that. Respect. Respect was the biggest one for me.
Yeah, respect a lot.
Like, obviously, my parents taught me respect, but
it's a different type of respect. It's a different
type of respect. Walking in the room, you shake everyone's hand. You
respect your superior. When I say superior, it's like your coach. You respect his decisions. You don't throw a tantrum because he subbed you off.
Yeah.
Well, we've all been there and done it, but it's not right, No. Then you learn. You get dropped the next week or whatever, something happens.
No, the positives far outweigh the negatives.
Look, we're talking from, like you said, a different perspective.
We're talking from a very, very personal experience. Yeah. Not everyone has the same experience, and no one will ever have the same.
Like, I still J up to play, like even just an indoor game or go for a kick with the boys, whatever.
Yeah,
you still love the game.
Yeah, and if you are watching this and playing, just keep playing. Yeah. Just keep playing for as long as you can. And if your aspirations are to be professional, just keep going.
And also, don't let anyone tell you that you like. For me, it comes back to you, because as well we've all been there, but you listen to too many people. At the end of the day, only you know how good, like how much you can give and how much you can push. So like just fucking narrow it down and tunnel vision.
Like literally, I'm just going to elaborate on what you said. Don't listen to the shit like only 1% of people make it. All
you be that 1%.
Exactly. If we listened to that, we would never have ever gotten close to getting where we were. Because you do.
Unfortunately, it gets in your head sometimes.
It does. I remember once we had a chat from a sports psychologist who basically her job was to make it all very realistic and bring everyone down to earth again. Yeah. Because we were playing youth football. And it was like, this is the actual reality of professional football. And, she gave us the stats. 1% of footballers actually make it. Another 1% actually have a 10-year career. If you're born you're born between January and April, you have a greater
your reality, man. I believe. You have control of your
reality. But I remember walking out of there thinking, fuck you, bitch.
100%.
Like, you can't tell me I'm not
exactly.
You know what I mean?
But that's the thing, bro. You're programming a kid to think like this, which is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it's not right, because I know now, as we've older, we know you have a lot of control over your future if
Yeah.
you do what's right. But when you're a kid, you get them put this shit in your head.
Yeah. So don't listen to the crap.
Yeah.
Just keep playing.
Just give them a big fuck you.
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
it. Thank you for tuning in once again to the podcast. Something a little bit different today. Hope you enjoyed it. You got a little bit of an insight into us. Got to know us a little bit better. And we can't wait to bring you more episodes, more guests, and new merch coming too. So lots of exciting things happening. Thank you once again. Make sure you subscribe to everything, and we'll see you next episode.